I am here on screen. And I can see Sam has joined us. Hello, Sam. Sam has her microphone off. Sam has muted her microphone, and so she doesn't know that she's live on screen. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Sam? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'll take you off the screen just for now. Hello, Sam. Can Sam see me? Is she looking at the screen? I think she can see it. Sam's screen is on. I don't know if you can hear me, Sam. I don't know. Is my microphone not working, perhaps? Can you hear Mr. Finch talking? Yes, we can. Okay. Yeah. Sam, if you can hear me, I've got your I had your screen up, but you've taken it back down again. Oh, she's moving. Sam's on the move.
Oh, I've been able to unmute now.
There you go. Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. Right, I've shared my screen and that worked. Did you see what I'd shared on the screen?
I saw your screen shared, yeah, and I put that up onto the broadcast and that worked fine, yeah.
That's good, because
it's all fine.
That's good, because what I'm going to do is take some photos of the felt making beforehand to share while I'm talking. So that's going to be fine, isn't it?
That'll be absolutely fine, yeah, no problem at all. It's a nice, easy interface, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're all very similar now, aren't they? So yeah, that's cool. And so when I'm broadcasting, will I see the live comments if people ask questions?
Can do, yeah. So I can remove myself from the thing and put you to full screen. So I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll put myself back. When I take myself out, when I take the picture, that takes my audio out as well. So I can't do that. But I can still watch and I can still listen. So at the point that you then want to share your screen, you share it and it appears as an option down at the bottom of my screen, and then I added it. So I'm still the director or the producer.
Okay.
If you say I'm going to share my screen now so you can see my pictures, then it'll be Graham running it on the day. He'll know to bring it up. Yeah. Okay.
So if I just say now I'm going to share with you some pictures, and then he'll know that when I click share screen, that's what I want. That's the same. I've been testing.
She's waiting at the bottom. There's Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello. Hello.
Joe's been waiting in the waiting room at the bottom of my screen for a little while, so I thought I'd bring her in. Otherwise, she'd think I'd forgotten her. So on the day when Graham's running it, you might be at the bottom for a while, because if we end up running behind time, then you might. Basically, you'll know who you're after because you'll see the program and you go, well, I know I'm not on until this guy's finished. So you might just be sitting in the bottom in the waiting room for a while, but nobody can see you while you're down there.
Okay.
You can watch and listen, obviously. And then when Graham's ready, he brings you on. If you're really lucky, he brings you on when you're in the middle of a bowl of cereal or something.
Okay.
But it's super simple, isn't it? It's nice. It's a nice thing. I'll take Hello Sam off now. I wasn't sure if you could hear me, Sam, because
no, I couldn't, because we were watching the film. My other half's now going to run past because he's going to the kitchen.
That's all right. Hello, mate.
Say hello. He's used to me doing these in our room upstairs. I'm just testing it today. So because I do my assemblies and everything, we've got like a designated room. So that's cool. That all looks good. So I'll get my photos on a PowerPoint. I'll do my talking, then I'll get ready to share them. Because it's quite hard to be holding like felt up to the screen. I think
so. No, it's much easier to do it that way. And we can have you side by side with the pictures so that people can still see you talking. I think
that's good, because then I can talk about them. That's good. Yeah.
No, it'd be fine. It'd be lovely.
Cool. Right, that's good. Now I just want to make sure I don't go over about 9 minutes. So that's my practice.
What I like best is if there's a little bit of banter with Graham, he'll keep it really short and then he'll drop himself out. So you've got the screen to yourself and you do your presentation. And at the end, he'll just do like 30 seconds, but he might ask a question or one of the questions, I'll respond to something that somebody's done on the comment stream or something.
Okay. And then I'm probably going to put links in my Twitter accounts, because obviously I can't teach people to make felt in 10 minutes. No. There's plenty of good YouTube videos to that. I thought if I put links in Twitter account,
if you let us know those, you can drop them in the Google document.
Okay.
We'll put them up on a Padlet. So we always create we create a Padlet that goes alongside the day, so that anybody's shared a blog or a book or something, we make sure that it's there as soon as we can. That's kind of my main job on the day, actually, is sitting here. People say, "Oh, I read this tremendous book," and I'm like, Google, post, and try and keep the Padlet up to date.
Okay, I'll send those to you ahead of time then, so you can get them on the Padlet. That's no problem. Okay, lovely. Cool.
All right, lovely to meet you.
Thank you for your help. Thank you. See you next Saturday. Bye.
See you. I'm going to drop her out, and then I'm going to drop you. Oh, where is it? There you go, Joe. I'm going to drop you in. There you go. You're back in.
I actually just wondered if I could just check, like, sharing my screen with the PowerPoint.
Do that.
And because I've got a lot of film footage in there, I just wanted to check that, like, it can be heard and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, do.
So should I just press share screen and then?
Yeah, press share screen, and then it appears on my screen. It won't appear on the sort of the broadcast screen until I let it, if you see what I mean. So you basically give it to me as another input.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now.
Hang on a sec. Why can't I see it in that case? 'Cause I can't see it at the moment. Hang on a second. I want to see. I'm going to drop myself just for a second, see if that helps.
Let's just check. I've definitely done your entire screen.
I haven't got your screen as an option. It hasn't come up for me.
Oh, right.
Try again. Just try undoing it and putting it up and just see if that's...
It says, choose what you'd like to share. StreamYard wants to share the contents of your screen. Choose what you'd like.
You want to share just... Yeah. So you probably want to share one window because you probably don't want to...
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
Can you see?
There you are.
Okay.
So now we're sharing the screen with your thing. If I drop myself out, you won't be able to hear me, so I'll come straight back. But you see, if I drop myself out...
Yeah.
So then it's just you with your presentation, which is kind of a nice way to do it.
Okay, cool.
Now I can drop you out as well.
Which is fine.
It's giving them the freedom to express themselves and thinking outside of the box as well. So important for the development of humans, children, to express themselves creatively. And I feel really...
What am I doing?
You paused it. It's all right. You skipped ahead, didn't you? But it all works fine.
Did it work?
I could hear the audio and I could see the image and it was moving and everything. So
okay, excellent. So I can't see me when I'm doing it. I just look at my full screen PowerPoint. So I can't see the StreamYard version. Okay, that's cool. I just wanted to see.
I could hear you and see you all the way through. I promise. It was fine.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you.
All right.
Let's stop sharing. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I guess I think you just answered like Graham. You said Graham would be like kind of responding to the chat, because I guess if we're sharing our screen, we won't see any of that.
No, but I mean, he'll let you do your presentation, and then at the end, it depends what time's doing, because I don't agree with this. Graham for you. Graham like programs every minute. He goes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm like, mate, just go 10 minutes and then leave 5 minutes, because we can all chat, But he wants to squeeze in as many as possible. So he does end up getting a little behind. But if he's not at your point behind, or if somebody's dropped out, then he might, if somebody's asked an interesting question, he might put that to you, or he might just ask you about what's going on in the background of your video or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
A feeling really informal and really friendly and really sort of social, because that's the thing that makes Brewhead feel approachable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what's really nice. My children will not be in. You can probably hear them arguing right now.
I can hear them. That's fine. I've got a boy. It's okay.
They're going to go out with my husband. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you.
Listen, any more questions, or even if they seem like silly little ones, just ask them on the group chat, because if somebody's thinking it, then I think more than one person probably is, but some of them might be feeling too shy to ask.
Yeah, so I think we've got building works going on, and they've makeshift plugged in the Wi-Fi somewhere else, and we've had a bit of connection issues when we've all been at home trying to be on it. So I just kind of wanted to check that the Wi-Fi is holding out, but I think at the weekend, less usage, it'll be fine.
Yeah. It's looking great now, but yeah, it does drop out. I mean, this always happens. You know, somebody has a freeze up or something, and then we come back to them later. It's not in any way a problem. So
okay.
Yeah, just be relaxed about it. Don't let it stress you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time on a Saturday as well.
No problem. I've left my son cooking the tea.
Oh, nice. What age does that happen?
He's 13 and he's only just started, so
got that to look forward to. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. See you soon.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Hey.
Hello, Ed.
All right, mate. How are you?
All right, mate. You've had a couple of
pages. Have you been waiting?
No, not for long. Only about a minute.
I was just checking my Twitter to see if anybody was saying they couldn't get in or something. I had somebody on the bottom in the waiting room, but they hadn't turned their microphone or their camera on, so I couldn't bring them in. So they're presumably sitting there thinking, "Why isn't that bastard bringing me in?" I couldn't. I was saying, if you turn your microphone on, but maybe they didn't have their speakers on either. Who knows?
So you've had a couple of visitors then, Ed?
I've had 2 visitors in, and both of them found it very reassuring indeed.
Oh, good work, you. Good work.
Yeah, more relaxed by the end, so I think it's worth it. I'm only sitting here, you know. Don't cost anything, does it? Don't cost anything.
No, I just thought I'd pop in just to make sure you're all right.
Well, what are you up to this evening then?
Well, I think I might watch it. I've got my tea in the oven.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to watch a film or something. I think
I'll tell you, my son wants to say, can we watch Spinal Tap?
Oh, right.
I mean, we might have to put it into a poll, but if we put it against like 3 shit things,
yeah.
I'd like to say, Douglas, we could just watch it together, mate. We don't have to watch it with Graham. Oh, Paula's in. Have we got her? And so here we go. Yay! There's Paula.
Yay. But
Paula,
I can't. I've got to figure out how to turn my screen around.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Paula.
It's a very nice shed.
Yeah, it's a nice shed.
Yeah, it. I just got this new technology so I could be part of these things, and now I've got to figure out how to turn my screen around.
Where in the world are you right now, Paula?
I'm in upstate New York.
Basically, look at that. We're talking to somebody in upstate New York, Graham.
That's mad, isn't it?
On the Isle of Wight. I don't know if you know where that is, Paula. It's a little tiny island off the south coast of England.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
And I'm sitting in Oxford.
Okay, now how do I turn my screen around? I guess maybe it's in the camera.
I bet it is.
Okay, let's see.
There's probably a little icon somewhere, isn't there?
I might have.
You'll be reassured to know that we have 0 viewers. So nobody's watching us messing around.
I'm not amusing anybody but you right now.
That's all right.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah. I thought I'd put it through to my YouTube rather than through to my Twitter, because I've got 15,000 people watching on Twitter and about 20 on YouTube.
Well, on my camera, I'm seeing myself just fine. So it's not turning the camera around.
So you can see yourself, can you?
I can see myself on my camera, so it doesn't have to do with the camera. You might just have to look at my shed.
We're not going anywhere.
Right.
Is it a portal you've got, Paula, or something like that? Oh.
She's gone. She's disappeared.
Mm. Yeah, so Spinal Tap we put up against... what is it? It's what sort of film do they call it? It's not a parody, is it?
A docu-drama, docu-comedy.
Is it a docu?
No, it's not a word, is it?
I did enjoy Shaun of the Dead this week.
I really did enjoy Shaun of the Dead. I enjoy it every time, but every time I see it, I see things I've not noticed before. I'm watching it with a couple of people who are pointing out things, like the bike that keeps going past.
Yeah.
That must be a reference to something, mustn't it? It must be. If you knew your horror really well, you'd go, "Oh, that's the bike out of."
Yeah.
Something. And I hadn't picked up that it's Rafe Spall's character who's calling him on the phone until this time.
Yeah, and Matt Lucas was in there, wasn't he?
He's back!
Yay!
Hello, Paula. What did you have to do?
I'm not sure. I somehow got kicked off. So I tried to come back in, and there's this thing that said, check your camera. I was like, oh, well, that's a good idea. And I pressed that, and then there was an option for the camera front or the camera rear.
So you go.
I'm not sure if I could do it again.
But do you want to drop out and try doing it again, just in case? So you're confident with that?
Do you want me to drop out and do it again? I was
up to you, but it might be a good idea to try it, mightn't it?
Yeah.
So you know.
Oh.
She's gone. Tiny drum roll. Yeah. We could put it up against A Mighty Wind, which is very funny. What else have they done, that team? They did the pet show, the dog show one, didn't they?
Oh, Best in Show.
Best in Show. Well, it won't win, will it? Because Spinal Tap will win, because the best known out of the options wins. That's what happens.
Really?
Spirited Away is by far the best known of those.
I haven't seen that for ages.
It's your shed this time. Oh. It's the shed, Paula.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Paula, I like you. Yeah. I'm very glad we got to meet you.
Listen, I'm going to try to show you my poppies. I don't know if it'll let me.
Go on, try
move it over. There it is. You see the poppies?
No, I can see the shed.
But not to the left of the shed.
To the left of the shed. Yeah, they're lovely.
Yeah, I wish I could show them closer.
Take me and Graham out a bit so I can see it bigger. Hang on a sec. Graham, you drop it out. And me.
Ooh.
We're back in.
Let's see.
They are nice.
I can see them. Yeah, I can see them.
I can see somebody really.
What time of day is it in upstate New York? Have you just got up? What time is it? Is it like breakfast time?
Yeah, it's like breakfast time. I think it's about let's see. I don't know. I haven't gotten the clock on this going yet. I think it's about 4:30.
Okay.
I know I had lunch some time ago. Okay, so now I've got to figure out. Oops.
Maybe it doesn't like changing between cameras when it's on.
Yeah, I don't know. There we go. Thank you for letting me fool around.
No, it's fine. That's what we're here for. I've got someone else down here.
No.
I've got Paula. I've got you on two cameras at the same time.
Can you get rid of the other one?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Because I had the both on. That's why we got the feedback.
That guy going on there.
That's not me.
Well, are we there? Have we killed it? Yeah, we killed it. I might have to wear headphones because it was the sound coming from I think it was the sound coming from my speakers and then coming into your microphone that was feeding back. So I may have to wear headphones, which is all right. I have headphones.
Are they groovy headphones, Ed?
Paula, have you still got audio?
Yes, I hear you.
I'm just going to plug my headphones in now and make sure that it all works.
Where's Ed gone?
Okay, I've got audio now. I was just plugging in my headphones. Have you had that problem before, Grove? Have you had? Oh no, hang on a sec. Who's feeding back? So I reckon that the feedback may be at Paula's end. Paula, if you have got headphones, then
how about if I mute myself?
Then we can't hear you. It's stopped now anyway. It's all right. It stopped. Yeah. It stopped feeding back.
Paula, you're doing a video, aren't you? Ready for it? Yeah.
Yeah. Unmute yourself, and then we'll see how far we got. She's gonna do a message.
Oh. We like this. This is old school tech. What's the yes and twice for no?
Okay, I am muted. We'll see if we get that off sound.
That sounds exactly like that piece by Steve Reich I'm thinking of. Am I thinking of different trains, maybe? We need to Amazon Paula a pair of Paula, you need headphones. That's what's going on there. Is for some reason your device is not dealing with it. I reckon that normally there's an algorithm which sorts out that thing. So you got sound coming out of your speakers and straight into your microphone, and it's just going round in a big old circle. You need to get the cheapest. Get a pair of headphones that came. Get the ones that come free. Get the cheap ones that come free with your phone. Don't bother spending money on it.
Right, Ed, I'm off before my sausages burn.
All right, well, it's been lovely seeing you, mate.
I'll speak to you in the morning.
See you tomorrow, mate. Love you. Look after yourself. Bye. those are good headphones. Those aren't the ones that came free with your phone. Those are proper good. They're plugged in now. You unmuted? Can you hear us now? Yeah, it's going to work better. Yeah, it's fine. Perfect. No feedback, nothing.
I can hear you, but I hear terrible sounds.
Do I sound awful?
Oh, that's just you. No, yes, you sound fine.
No, I kicked Graham off. I got rid of Graham. We didn't need him. He's got sausages in the oven and he doesn't want them to burn. So he's good. So am I right? You're going to send a video through for us to show, yeah? Or are you presenting live?
I'm going to be recording a video.
Okay. So you'll come on, have a chat with Graham, and then we'll show the video. And then at the end of that, we'll just have another little chat to wrap up, and that'll be fine. It'd be lovely. Good. Are you happy and confident?
This doing the technology is new for me, and I've had to sort of upgrade my equipment.
Well, I hope you haven't spent too much money on it, have you?
Yeah. Not like I haven't told my husband how much I'm spending.
Okay.
But a number of places have asked me to teach.
Yeah. It is normal.
And if I'm going to get into this new chapter.
Yeah. I upgraded what I had as well for exactly the same reason. That I just thought, well, I'm doing so much of it that it's going to make my life easier if I spend a tiny bit of money and make life. And so, yeah, it's a hidden tax of being a teacher. Yet more teacher tax.
Right. I'm hearing quite a delay.
Yeah, I don't think that's surprising because we are some way apart. So I think it's maybe three seconds. So I'll clap. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, clap. You try and clap at the same time. 1, 2, 3, clap. Yeah.
Do it again. I was slow.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
That was
1, 2, 3, clap. Yeah, it's about 3 seconds we're behind. So
wow.
That's cool. You're in the United States of America and I'm in Oxfordshire. It's amazing. 3 seconds. It's like witchcraft. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm wondering when I'm doing my teaching live, if I need to be at a better internet.
So latency is your enemy. How are you on an?
What is that?
Well, latency is the posh word, which is that. Are you on a wired connection from your device to the router in the house, or are you wireless?
No, I'm wireless.
Yeah, so that will increase the latency. If you had a wired connection, so I'm upstairs in my house now, and because of lockdown, I've run a cable down under my floorboards all the way through the back of the house down to where the router is, and I'm getting so quicker speeds. But it doesn't matter. It's all right. 3 seconds is okay. But it won't be so bad for your students because I guess your students are probably within the US, aren't they?
Yeah. Who knows? We haven't started yet. I'll be teaching for the place called the Center for Book Arts in New York City.
Nice though. So that's quite exciting, isn't it? The kids I'm teaching are exciting. If I was to stand on the roof of my house and throw a ball pretty hard, I could probably hit most of the houses I'm teaching to from here. I mean, I don't do that because it would be dangerous, but yeah. Very good. I like your
yeah, and it's funny with this new technology. I don't think this device can be wired directly into the tablet.
Okay. Well, you know, hey, it's going to be okay. It's fine, isn't it? We're talking, so there may be a short delay, but our talking is fine, and your students will get used to it too.
What's distracting is I have an echo.
Oh, do you? An echo of me or an echo of you?
Yes, I hear myself say what I just said.
Oh, yeah. That is annoying. You have to just blank it out, I guess. I haven't got that too badly on my feed, but yeah.
But the point of these is, for me, is to be listening more than talking.
So what are you teaching? Are you teaching mathematics or mathematics and art?
Oh, yeah. I've been teaching bookmaking for decades. And at a certain point, I was beginning to feel like what I wasn't doing wasn't really relevant, because it was helping with literacy. It was supporting literacy. But the teachers don't really need my help with literacy. With math, that's a different story. And in fact, bookmaking is all about relationship thinking. And there's huge connections between building things and math.
Yeah.
So more and more, I got the teachers that I work with to say, let's do math projects. And I'm sorry for these delays. It's the echo. It's making me crazy.
It's all right. You know what? It doesn't sound bad at my end. It sounds fine. It sounds like you've completed a thought and then you're just letting it rest for a little before you do the next thought. So it doesn't.
Good. We'll just pretend that's what's happening.
Yeah, it doesn't feel strange or unnatural at all. Yeah. I think it's easy to get teachers to talk about reading for pleasure and talk about the love of writing and poetry. And when you're talking about primary school teachers, a lot of them will have a background in the arts or in English literature. But to get them to get the deep beauty of maths and to get the fun of maths is a lot harder, I find, with my colleagues.
Well, I think a lot of the elementary teachers go into it because they don't really get the math. And so when they're teaching the math at the elementary level, they don't understand that they're giving foundational skills for something that the kids are going to see much later on. So they can't be creative with it.
Yeah.
But I can be, and I like being. And when I first started doing it, teachers were saying, like, sure, you can't do math with my kids. How can you relate it? And so I would just do it anyway. And the teacher would be there with her jaw dropped saying, oh my God, you're covering stuff that we're covering right now. But I'm doing it in a way that is very engaging for the kids.
That's really exciting.
And this has caused me to learn a lot more math.
So your background wasn't math before you went into teaching? And
I was one of these kids that always got A's in math, loved math, and then when I hit calculus, it just didn't make sense anymore. So I stopped doing math until my kids were doing it. And then I got to go through the whole arc again, and I got hooked.
Great. It was great.
And my son did much better in calculus than I did because of me.
My son is very excited to learn calculus. He's 13 and I haven't started yet, but he reckons that's the only thing he can't do.
Oh, I didn't understand what you're saying.
So my son, who is 13 years old, is very excited to learn calculus. I don't remember ever learning. I must have done, but I don't. I studied maths to the age of 16, maybe. But I don't remember ever learning calculus. If I knew it, it's gone. My son can't wait.
So are you going to try to learn it along with him?
Yeah, maybe. It's not. Oh, I've just noticed I've got a lot of messages waiting on there. Oh, no, from you. Yeah, fine. Good. I had suddenly noticed there's a flag up on the private chat, and it's you saying, "Hi, I can hear you," and things. So it's okay. I didn't miss that. We got no one else wanting.
I tried to get on before.
Yeah, I could see that you were on, but it was telling me that you hadn't turned on your microphone or your camera, so I couldn't join.
That's because I was trying to use my desktop.
Okay, there you go. It doesn't want to know. So what are we on now? Are we on like a phone or a tablet or something?
Yeah, it's a Surface Book.
Yeah, I hate those. Didn't you? I got one of those. Terrible. Hate it. Have you just bought it?
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Yeah, I bought one thinking it was going to be the answer to all my problems, and really it hasn't answered any of my problems. But you know.
Oh, no.
Did you just get it?
Yes, yesterday.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll work for you. I think maybe I use it for blogging, and I use it for mostly I use it for my blogging, and then I use it for my internet banking and things. I use it for that. For this sort of thing, I just sit upstairs and I use my desktop because it's kind of predictable. The thing that annoys me.
What doesn't work for you about the Surface?
It's too much faff getting it to present to a projector or to a screen, because it doesn't have a VGA cable or an HDMI. So because my day job is I'm a teacher, and I mostly want my device to talk to a projector, and the Surface isn't optimized for that. I think it's possible, but it's just a faff. Whereas with my old-fashioned laptop, I just plug in the cable and off I go.
I was trying to use my old laptop, but it didn't give me the picture was terrible.
Oh, okay. And are you're getting a good picture on the Surface?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I mean, you can see me okay.
It's working fine.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, it's working fine. I think that maybe that was the reason we were having a problem with feedback, though. But we've solved it with the headphones. So I don't know why you shouldn't have an echo. I bet there's a setting somewhere we could change so you didn't get an echo.
I'm wondering if my computer is still. Oh, I wonder if I had a microphone on the headphones.
Yeah, could be. You're not watching this on another screen, are you? You've not got it up on two screens. Like you haven't got two browser pages open.
I think maybe I'm going to try to put in a microphone instead of the headphones and see if that's better.
You can try that, but also try just close down any other tabs you've got open in the background in case we're picking up audio from one of those, because you shouldn't be getting an echo.
I don't think this is going to work.
Might do. It's worth a go, isn't it? It's worth a go, isn't it? Oh, I heard myself there.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, that's not working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's not working. I can hear you.
You can hear me. But is the echo worse?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I think it's okay. I think it's fine, because I just think there's that couple of moments delay, but it's from the point of view of somebody watching on screen, they're not going to think it's problematic in any way.
But I'm going to have to work it out, because if I'm teaching, I can't hear myself 3 seconds later.
You shouldn't be getting that. I wonder if that's a StreamYard thing or a Surface thing. Let's have a little Google on hearing an echo on stream. Yeah, it would drive you mad if you were doing it for several hours a day, wouldn't it? How to get rid of echo on your YouTube live stream. I found a tutorial. Oh, you're gone. You come back. I found a tutorial on YouTube. So there's tutorials out there if you Google to find about getting rid of the echo. I've never had the problem, and I'm not having it now. I'm hearing you perfectly and not hearing me, because I think there's an algorithm working on StreamYard which is meant to identify my voice and not play it back to me.
So what do you teach?
I have small children, so I teach everything. Mostly I teach, historically I've taught music, dance and computing. But obviously I teach everything really. In the UK, you're from the age of 0 to 11, the same teacher teaches all the subjects to the children. We don't really have specialist teachers at that age group.
Well, we have specialist teachers, and the specialist teachers tell me that the reason they have specialist teachers is to give the teachers a 40-minute break a day.
Well, we would like that, but there's no money in our system at all. We're strapped for cash. For a long time, I was teaching across my whole school. I was teaching the music and the computing, gymnastics and dance, and we were using me to cover all of the other teachers to have 2 hours free for planning and preparation and assessment. But money is tighter and tighter, so I'm back in the classroom teaching the whole range of subjects again. Our government has systematically defunded the education system, and we're now at breaking point.
It's such a mistake.
Yeah, it seems so to us, but I think it's done. I do think it's done with a reason. I think they're trying to break the system so they can remake it with profit at the core, but they don't say that.
Well, I go into schools as an enrichment person, so I go from school to school to school. And the schools call me and say, can you work with our kids and do a special project with them? And I never know who's going to call and who's not. And so it's really creative work.
It's lovely work, but I mean, I just presume it has to pay enough to allow you to do it.
It does.
Yeah.
And I did it all through my kids growing up. So I always had summers and vacations, school vacations off.
Yeah, perfect.
And it's definitely part-time work. In other words, I generally work only through January through June. Because no one wants me in September when they're first getting to know their kids.
Yeah, so that we will wait until after Christmas when they're very secure in their classes, and then we will bring the special lady in.
Right, and that by that time they're getting tired of their kids and they're happy to have someone else in the classroom with them.
Yeah, I think a lot of my friends who were doing similar sorts of roles to that have found that quite hard to maintain as our budgets have got tighter. But it's a lovely way to stay creative and to keep the link with the classroom without having all the problems we have with standardized testing and the pressure for that.
I've got to say, there's not many people do what I'm doing. I'm the only person I know who goes to as many schools as I go to.
And where are they? Is that within your local area, or are you going far and wide?
Mostly.
Exciting.
Saratoga Springs is not far from me, and they have a strong culture of appreciation for the cultural arts. And so I get most of my work from there.
Okay.
And then there's some schools in the Adirondacks. It's a little further for me, but it's a pretty drive.
I mean, I know that's a pretty drive. I've never been to your side of the Atlantic at all, but I know the Adirondacks are lovely.
I'm going to pull out a type of project that I do with young kids.
Do.
This isn't so much math, but you can find the math in it.
Yeah.
So it's about space, and it's a few pages long.
Yeah.
So they have place for writing here and here.
Yeah. And
this is, never mind what's there. There's other stuff there. And then it opens up like this. And there's usually a picture in there.
I can imagine. It's a lovely
and
thing.
It's made out of one piece of paper.
Yeah. So do you give them that piece of paper pre-cut, or are they learning how to do that?
So this is first graders.
Okay, yeah.
And I give them a piece of paper that's folded just in half, like this. And so they do the rest of the folds and the cutting of this little thing.
Yeah.
And we fold it up for them. But they do all the folding, really.
Yeah, it's cool.
So here's some of the math that I'll incorporate. They get pieces of paper from me that are like a double square, the domino. And I talk to them about how the domino is a double square. And how you can make different shapes if you cut that square in half. If you cut the domino in half. And so they'll cut the domino in half either, and then they'll have squares, and they can make tiny squares.
Yeah.
Or they'll have or they'll rotate the square and cut it in half this way, and end up with triangles.
Yeah.
And we could cut those in half and make baby triangles, which of course are similar triangles.
Yeah. So it's still going to be a right angled triangle. It's still going to have the same properties, just at a different scale.
That's right. It'll be the isosceles right triangle. And I talk to them a lot about squares. So we'll make another thing like a paper spring, which is part of what's on this side.
Yeah, they love that. Yeah.
Right. But we start out with two long rectangles.
Yes.
And then weave them together down to the square. And if I've already talked to them a lot about squares, they get it right away.
Yeah, they'll spot it.
Yeah. So yeah, these are ways that I sneak math into the in the projects, and I talk a lot about symmetry. So it's
good stuff. I like it. I wish there was a lots of teachers complain that there isn't room in the curriculum to do this sort of thing, and I say if there's not room for that in our curriculum, then it's time to rewrite the curriculum, because those children will remember that, and the knowledge, the deeper knowledge and understanding of why a square is a square, and the squariness of squares, that deeper knowledge will stay with them, won't it? I think you can waste your time.
So, and I think that that's part of what I was saying before, that the teachers at that grade level don't realize that squares are really important in math. And you keep seeing them over and over and over again, and they mean different things, and they take you into all sorts of places. So I get to emphasize that the square is a really important thing they'll be seeing over and over again.
Yeah, I think that's right. We talk about that in terms of things like place value, and how laying a good foundation of understanding of place value isn't just a target for that year. It lays the foundations for the whole of your understanding of number. But I don't think we look at shape in that way, or look at pattern in that way. And really, a child who can speak eloquently and passionately about passion is in a very good place to get a good understanding of mathematics. Probably more than a child who can add 2 and 2 and make 4. Right.
And just think about, there's square numbers, if you can visualize that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the way we define area is by using squares.
Yes.
And even when you get into calculus, if you're finding the area under the curve, you're really finding the sum of all the squares and all little parts of squares that are under that curve.
Yeah. And it's recursive, isn't it? So it's so when you're cutting those squares,
deeper and deeper.
Yeah. So when you're cutting those squares in half and turning them, and then cutting them in half and making smaller squares and smaller squares, that's quite deep, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Here. So this is how I have them do it. We put it like this.
Yes.
And I have them hold it up to the light so they can actually see the square underneath.
Yeah. Yes.
And so they get excited. Oh, well, I would say this is for the paper spring.
Yes.
But when we're cutting the squares, it's we do this, and you get a domino again.
Yeah.
Right. But then you do this, and you get your square again.
Yeah.
And you do this, and you get your domino again. You do this, you get your square again. I can't show them this because
then they will.
Not this now, because they'll just cut forever.
They will. They'll cut infinitely small pieces of paper, and someone will have to pick them up. Pieces. Someone's going to have to pick those up. Either that or get the Hoover out.
Right. Oh, we don't have Hoovers in the classroom.
Oh, well then. That's a child on their hands and knees. Well worth it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much the janitors like it when I'm in town.
I try and get them to keep it on it. I say, keep your pieces on the table so you can scoop them into your hand and put them in the recycling. But they don't listen. They don't listen. I did paper plate iguanas on Friday. And that involved an awful lot of little bits of cardboard.
What did you do?
We made iguanas out of paper plates.
Oh.
It sounds obscure, but it worked very well. The children were very happy.
Something, it's good.
They love it, don't they? I remember being that child. I was never happier than when I had some tape and some scissors and some cardboard. I made little things, and I see that in my class now, and I think, if I can build space for you guys to just be at one with your scissors and your sticky tape, then that it fulfills a really essential part of childhood, doesn't it?
And if you can somehow connect the math to their building, even better.
Yeah, that's something I don't think I had put my head around. I've got 2 obsessive paper folders in my class at the moment. Obsessive. If I'm teaching anything, I look around and I find that they've taken themselves off into the corner of the classroom and they're busy folding paper. Now, if I could persuade them to think that was maths, I would have. Yeah, good. It's quite annoying. Yeah. If I'm halfway through explaining why it's important to understand how the Romans changed Britain, and then I look around and they're busy folding paper, it's not it's not immediately pleasing. I don't know. Did you ever see the Fractal Cuts paper folding and cutting book?
Fractal coloring book. Fractal
Cuts, it's called. It's published by Tarquin. I'm going to look for it now and see if I can find it. You would love it if you haven't seen it before. It's the most beautiful book, and absolutely, I find it. No, it's not coming up. I will look. I will send you a link to it. Tarquin Books are a publisher in the UK who do very obscure publishing around maths and design. There's, I found it. Hang on a sec. I will show you.
Clarissa Grande just published something with them, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's got quite. Let me see if I can show you. Share screen. Share. You're just going to see my monitor for a bit, which you're not going to like, but there we go. Let me go back to it. This book here I'm talking about, absolutely mind-bending. It's all about, so you make, the ones I do are all versions of Sierpinski's triangle, but purely through, can you see where I'm looking there? It's the most extraordinary thing. It hasn't got a look inside, has it? So you can't see it. I wonder if I can see anywhere else. Oh, well, I'll get rid of that, but I often use that with children to try and get art, and so they love the making, they love the folding, they love the cutting, and then they look at these things and they do start describing the deeper maths in it in simple terms. It's a beautiful thing. I'm going to kick that one off there.
Yeah, that kind of pop-ups is something that I've done a lot of.
Yeah. Well, if you weren't in upper,
I'm actually going to be.
Yeah. Carry on.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I was saying if you weren't quite a long way away, I think we would get on very well. We could sit next to each other and do a lot of cutting and sticking. You are very much of my cast of mind. What were you going to show me? You had a fan thing.
It's not exactly a fan. It's I'm seeing that it doesn't show up that well.
I'm just going to put you whole screen for a bit, so you won't be able to hear me just for a minute because I'm going to take myself off the feed, but just so I can see what you're showing me full screen, okay? So I'm just going to keep on showing it so I can have a
Okay. So you can I can see that it doesn't show up as well.
Yeah. It looks beautiful
on this colored paper, but this...
so show me how it folds.
What's that?
Show me how it folds, because it's going to go down flat, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what this is what my 10-minute session is going to be.
Okay.
Is making this.
Great. What have you folded that from?
And
is it from a page? What did you fold to make that? Is it a folded page from a magazine or something? Because I can see all the colours and patterns.
I like the Mackenzie Childs magazines because they have a lot of colors on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to show this off, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's sort of interesting.
I think it's interesting.
But I'll probably do the actual thing on white paper so people can see the folds better.
Yeah, probably. And then show a couple of your examples and say, and if you use coloured paper. The children will love it.
I would say that again. I didn't hear that.
So if I was doing that with children, I would get them to practice with scrap paper first until they were confident with the folds, and then go to the coloured paper or to the magazine page or something. So you're suggesting the same, really, aren't you? You're saying show with the white paper, and then at the end this is what you can make.
I tried to do this with young children, and it was a disaster.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But they said this is more for a middle school audience.
Yeah, well, I think so. I think that would work with my upper key stage 2, which is aged 8 to 11, or it would work with, or it might work with key stage 3, which is the first years of our senior school program. So that's aged 11 to 13, 14. I think they would love it.
I could catch a part of what you're saying, but it was garbled.
I was just saying that I can imagine doing that project with the children in my key stage 2. Key stage 2 for us is aged 7 to 11. I think maybe upper key stage 2 could do it. Right. I also think my son's age 12 and 13 and 14 would enjoy doing that. Who wouldn't enjoy doing it?
I think that age could do it. I did it with some 7th, 8th graders, which are about 13.
Yeah.
And they were able to do it.
Yeah.
But for 2nd graders, I would be doing something more like this, where then you take it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Push it in and get a pop-up.
Then you got a pop-up, yeah.
And then you can do the same thing, like that fractal book.
Yep.
By going in the center.
Yeah. Or you can come from the back where your fold is, and then you get 3 steps for the price of 1, if you know what I mean. I love it. If I have a class, if I'm covering a class that I don't know and I haven't been left any plans, I will always do that project. I've never had a child who didn't succeed, and I've never had a child who didn't love it.
If I'm working with a class of kids and I say, okay, now we're going to do pop-ups, you can hear a pin drop.
Yep. They love it.
Yeah. There we go. I'll go further then.
Yeah, so now you've got your innies and your outies. They love it, don't they? Yeah. I love it. I find it actually. Carry on.
I was going to talk about inverses.
Yeah.
And good. How paper folding is a way of having fun, focusing on the concept of inverses.
Yeah, which is a very useful concept.
Which tends to be a big.
It's a very useful concept. If a child understands what the inverse is, and then you've just halved your work, really, I think.
I think it's really nice to be able to get kids comfortable with concepts they're going to be grappling with later on in math.
Yeah. Key concepts which will always be useful, and then you can describe those in your curriculum and know that you'll be returning to that concept every year, but you'll have at least built a good foundation at the start.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Listen, it's lovely to meet you, Paula, and I think we've managed to make the technology work. So are you feeling confident for Saturday? Are you happy?
I'm getting there.
Okay, good. I need to check on my son because he's supposedly cooking my evening meal for me. So I better go and...
Maybe I'll get going too.
Yeah,
and well... I thought that there was going to... that Graham was going to be doing something.
He was just popped in to say hello, but I mean, this is just to check that everything's working and that people have got stuff working. So I think we're okay. If you've got any messages for Graham, if you are in our direct chat, aren't you? You're in.
Yes.
Yeah. So any questions or any problems, however small they seem, do ask them, because I always think if one person has a question, then probably another 5 or 6 were too shy to ask the same question. So don't be shy.
I'm going to try to record my video before the end of the weekend.
It's a good plan.
Which means Monday or Tuesday.
It's okay. So long as we have it by Saturday, we won't mind. We won't chase you.
Easily.
We're perfectly happy. We trust you. It's all right. But yeah, once you've done it, it's a great relief, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, lovely to meet you, and see you soon.
Okay, and I'll go follow you on Twitter. You're at Mr. E. Finch.
That's me, at Mr. E. Finch. Yeah. And I will look out for you there. I'll say hello when you pitch up. All right. Bye.